Hey, you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, I'm 7 minutes late. And welcome to the morning pour. If I can be honest with you guys, I didn't want to get up and do this morning. That bed was feeling so good, and I didn't want to get up. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. It is Monday, and so Monday is Motivational Monday. As you guys come in, don't forget to let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Also, do not forget to let me know what you are thankful and grateful for. Good morning, Edith. Thank you so much for joining on this morning. I'm super excited to be here. So it is the morning pour. And so on the morning pour, hold on one second, y'all. Thank you for the love. I greatly appreciate you, Miss Edith. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. 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 All right, y'all. So come on in the room. So today is Monday. Good morning, Akina. Good morning, Yolanda. Today is Motivation Monday. And so my name is Cheryl Mazik, you guys, and I help women to heal from the inside out with workbooks, online courses, experiences, events, and amazing all-natural health and wellness products, okay? With those all-natural health and wellness products, I have been able to release 50 pounds naturally with a lifestyle change and incorporating the products into my schedule, into my life, not my schedule, but into my life. And my life has completely changed because I've learned how to do some things different, right? And so on this morning pour, it is a place where you can come and get a dose of inspiration and motivation every single weekday, Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Good morning, Miss Vanessa. That's the normal time where I go live. But like I said this morning, y'all, I was just tired. And I was laying in my bed and I did not want to get up, but I got up, I got dressed, and I am here, right? Because, sometimes you don't want to do the things that you have to do. But one thing that I know in life is sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do, right? What you got to do so that you can do what you want to do. Right. And so this is something that I have to do in this season. This is something that God has told me to do in this season. And so I got to be obedient, whether I want to do it or not. Right. And so on today, and don't forget to put what you guys are thankful and grateful for and where you're tuning in from. On today, you guys, I'm going to talk about the power of getting outside of your normal habitat. Right. The power of getting outside of your normal habitat, right? That could be the place where you live. That's what a habitat is. And so what happens is, for me, right? I work from home. Of course, I live at home. Everything is done at the house, right? And so I said I wanted to be intentional in this season, right? I want to be intentional to make sure I make connections with some people that I don't normally hang with, right? So getting around a new group of people locally, but also building relationships and collaborations with other powerful women of God, right? And so God has been leading me to different people in different areas. And so because I do work from home, I don't really get out a lot. Most of the stuff I do is on the internet. But I got a chance to go to an amazing event this weekend, and it was with a lot of beautiful women of God, a lot of kingdom women. And so one of the things that was done at the event was the host of the event, she gave us a little keepsake, a gift, right? And so this is what she gave. So it's a little keychain, but on the keychain, it has some anointing oil on it. And so it also was a message. And so for the message, she had us, this was in a little box, and we couldn't look at the thing as we were picking it up. We had to turn our head and we had to pick it up, okay? And so I was like, this message is so befitting. And good morning, Gippy, how are you? The word was so befitting because, I was coming out of a season. Like last quarter, I was in a season of just truly dimming my light. And so I'm going to read you guys the scripture. It says Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Okay. And so, probably around June, that's when I really, really, connected with my own personal coach, right? And she helped me to come out of that thing, right? Because I was in a place of just being chill, not doing business, sitting on my gifts, sitting on my purpose, sitting on the things that God has given me to give to the world, right? And so it was just confirmation. Like, this is really a season. If you've been watching this, I've told y'all, this is a season of my life where I'm going all in. No matter what happens in my life, come hell or high water, whatever circumstances, I am still pushing forward, and I'm going all in to do what God has called me to do. And God is absolutely going to get the glory for anything that I do. I am going to allow my light to shine and not dim my light. Because sometimes people don't like the light that you have on the inside of you. Like, people can see the light, even sometimes when you can't see that you have something special on the inside of you. Other people can see it. And other people don't want you to be who you are, be who you were called to be. And, I say all that to say that I thank God that I got outside of my comfort zone, right? To go to something new, to do something with new people, to get a confirmation that I didn't even know that I needed, right? And so you never know what God is going to do for you in the way that he's going to do it. You could be praying and asking God for something, a confirmation, and God will give it to you in just something as simple as a keychain. But you got to be willing to move when you don't want to move, right? And so there's power in getting outside of your normal activity. Like your thought process starts to open. When you get around other people, the brain starts moving. At least for me, right? Like when you travel, like when you get outside of your normal state or your town, you see things a little different. You notice that when you go to other places, you're like, oh, it's not like that back home, right? It's a little different. Like, I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I live in Dallas, Texas area, okay? And one thing I noticed, things are totally different from Louisiana versus Texas. What if I never left outside of Texas? I'm sorry, what if I never left outside of Louisiana? I would never know the difference to know that there's more out there. What if I never traveled outside of Texas? Like, I've been outside of Texas multiple times. I've been to different cities, different states, different countries, and things are so different. Right? So when you go to different places, sometimes God unlocks some things a little bit different for you too. Like, you're going to different atmospheres. And so don't be scared to experience something different. Because when you experience something different, sometimes you get something new that you need to take you into your next. So you got to make sure that you get outside of your comfort zone. That's another part of doing some things different. Nothing grows in your comfort zone. Nothing grows there. But if you really want to be able to go to the next level and phase of life, of business, of relationships, you got to be willing to get outside of your comfort zone. We talk about this all the time. In order to do something, in order to get something different, what does it require? It requires you to move different. It requires you to do different. The word even says that when it talks about you can't put new wine in old wineskin, right? Because if you do, it's going to burst. You cannot open up new doors with old keys. You need a new key to open up the new door. And so you got to be willing to get outside of the comfort zone. You got to be willing to think outside the box sometimes. We so used to doing everything in repetition, right? Because we do it every day, all day. We were taught that. Think about it. When we were children, and even as our children, right? Those that go to traditional school, you do the same thing Monday through Friday. Same routine Monday through Friday. You get up, You get your kids together, you get yourself together, your children go off to school, you go off to work. You come home, you do what you need to do. Some people go have their children in sports or outside curricular activity events. They take them to that, then they go back home. Same thing is done on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? You're used to doing the same thing. And when you start to operate in your gifts, when you're used to doing the same thing, sometimes it's hard to come outside of that comfort zone because your mind is wired to do the same thing. You're used to doing the same thing. And when you come outside that comfort zone, you start to get scared. Like, what is it going to look like? I'm coming outside my comfort zone. I'm coloring outside the box. I'm coloring outside the design, right? And so you have to understand that, hey, growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Newness happens outside of your comfort zone. New experiences happen outside of your comfort zone. But you won't know that if you continue to stay in your comfort zone, if you continue to stay in the box. And so on this week, you guys, I want you to just really evaluate your life. Thank you guys so much for joining. Jeffrey, Fancy, Sharon, McLean, John, thank you guys so much for joining. Miss Sherry, thank you so much for joining. This week, I want to encourage you guys to evaluate your life, right? And see if you are truly where you desire to be. If you're not where you desire to be, what are you willing to do different this week? What are you willing to do to get outside of your comfort zone? Like, you might need a coach for whatever that thing is. Get a coach. Get somebody to help you. Do you have an accountability partner? Y'all, accountability partners are so good to help you on your journey because they gonna help you stay connected. Hey, Snook, how are you, beautiful? I'm so glad to see you hop on. They're gonna help you, right? Stay in alignment with your goals, okay? Example, and I'm gonna tell you all about my business, okay? So y'all know we're doing a challenge for October. One of my communities, we're doing a health and wellness challenge for October. And I'm also a part of another community. And we have made a decision, right, to eat right, to stay on track. And so I ended up getting a piece of cake because it was my son's birthday. I had one piece on his birthday, but the next day I had another piece, which I shouldn't have ate. And so my accountability partner wasn't there, right? I was doing it on the low, not knowing that she was going to find out. But my daughter, she felt also kind in her heart to call my accountability partner and say, hey, look, she got some cake. She shouldn't be eating this cake, right? And so I didn't feel convicted in that moment, right? Because I wanted that cake. But, you know, when I really thought about it, I was like, you know what, she's so right. I said I have goals that I want to reach, right? And eating this cake is not conducive to me seeing the goals that I desire to see for the month of October. And so even though I was comfortable in that situation, it wasn't good for the goals that I said that I want to reach. And sometimes you need to hear the things that you don't want to hear, right? To help you go where you're trying to go. And so I'm thankful for my accountability partner because she really put a light under me unknowingly to her, right? But she did. You know, even though in that moment I wasn't fazed, but when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, she's right. I really have some goals that I'm trying to reach. How can I reach that goal? Even if just a little slither of cake, that little slither of cake is going to keep me on the track that I'm on versus the track that I'm trying to get on. And so I got to be willing, right, to pivot, to shift, to not do the things that I desire in that moment. Yes, down the road, I can have some cake, right? When I'm not focused on the journey, when I'm in a phase of, I can, you know, take those moments to eat the little things that I want to eat, right? But I'm thankful that she kept me on track. She got me back on track. She allowed me to pivot back in the right direction. And so sometimes you need somebody to help you do that. And that's where accountability partners come in, right? And sometimes you could think like that accountability partner is mean. Like, She's judgmental, right? Sometimes it feels like you're being judged when you have an accountability partner, but that's not the case. When you truly have an accountability partner that really wants the best for you because you want the best for yourself, it sounds like they're being mean. It sounds like they're being hurtful, but they're truly telling you something that you need to hear. And sometimes the things that you need to hear, it hurts like hell. Okay? Nobody wants to hear that they're doing, something the wrong way. Nobody wants to be corrected, but correction is needed. Correction is needed. If you're going to grow, you got to be corrected if you're doing something wrong. That's just the reality of it. Think about your children. If you see them going down the wrong path, right, you're going to stop. You're going to correct them because you want them to pivot and not go down the wrong path and start to go down the right path, right? And that requires correction. And sometimes it's not easy for correction. It's not easy to receive, and sometimes it's not easy to give. But if you want to grow, you got to be willing to move different. If you want to grow, you got to be willing to stay consistent, right? Stay consistent, because the consistency sometimes it's not just for you, but it's for those that you're called to, right? I had to think about, like, this morning. I was like, man, I might just cancel the show this morning because I really did not feel like getting up at that time, at this time, right? Because I was feeling good in bed. But I had to think about, who is it that watches these lives that need this word on today? They won't get the word because I was being selfish today. I was being selfish to do what I wanted to do versus what I know that I needed to do, right? And, I don't focus on who's watching live. Yes, I'm thankful for each and every person that watched live. But what about the person that comes to watch the replay? They won't have a replay to watch if I don't show up. And so to know that your actions is tied to somebody else's purpose. Everything's going to always come back to that. Everything's going to always come back to that. Know that your actions is always tied to somebody else's purpose. Somebody else need what it is that you have so they can go do what they're supposed to do. And so you got to be willing to move even when you don't want to. You got to be willing to do even when you don't want to. And so I just want to encourage you guys today to know that it's okay to get out, to think outside the box. It's okay to go into new territories. It's okay to see some things different, because when you see some things different, it starts to enlighten on the inside of you. Well, hey, there is more to this thing. There is more to this thing called business. There is more to this thing called community. There is more to this thing called life, y'all. By getting outside of your normal habitat, seeing things different, meeting new people. Like, you never know who you may meet that you can collaborate with in the now or even in the future. Get out of your mindset that everything is competition with somebody. It doesn't have to be competition when you are connecting with people. It could truly be collaboration. Like, what are you bringing to the table that I can use to help build what it is that I'm doing? And that person, what is that person bringing to the table? Well, we can collaborate and come together and make an impact. Oh, I'm glad that I was able to help you. To God be the glory, Miss Vanessa. But you got to be willing to say, hey, look, I know this may be something that I'm not used to doing, right? This may be, I love business, so we're going to reference business, right? So this business may be something that I'm not familiar with, right? I'm not familiar with doing a business. I'm not familiar with building a business. I don't know the ins and outs of selling. I don't know the ins and out of communicating. I don't know the ins and outs of running a back-end operation, right? And that's where you collaborate with people, those that know how to do those type of things. Collaboration, like investments. Y'all, this is something else too that a lot of people, really take for granted, is like investing your monies in things that's going to help you grow. Okay? Investing your monies in things that's going to help you grow. Mentorships, coaching, workbooks, courses. Like, I don't take those things lightly because I invested in myself very heavily, y'all. I invested in myself when I had no money to invest in myself. Like back in 2018, I was laid off. I was on unemployment, y'all. And I wanted to grow so bad that I was using my unemployment check to pay for a coach. And that coach was $800, and unemployment wasn't that much, right? But I wanted to grow so bad. I wanted to be able to do and tap into what God had for me in that season so bad. I was willing to invest the little that I had in order to get the knowledge that I needed, in order to get the growth that I needed. That's when my first book was published, right? So I actually have 2 books. I don't really promote the other book that often just because I have to focus on the different things that I'm promoting, that I'm putting out there, because you don't want to put too much out there because people get confused about what you got going on, right? And so that's when I wrote my first book. It's called A Simple Guide to Winning Big in Business as a Servant Leader. I had to get outside my comfort zone, you guys, in order to write that book. I had to get outside my comfort zone, you guys, in order to get a coach, to learn the things that I needed to learn. But this is the thing, too. She wasn't the right coach. Come to find out, she was a fraud. So make sure you research people too, y'all, before you make investments in people. Make sure that they have testimonials of people that they've really impacted the lives of. Now we're in a day of where you can get video testimonials, right? Make sure they have some type of video testimonials, talking about how they truly have helped them come from this spot and go to this spot. Because everybody is a guru in this day and time. But you gotta check for the receipts when you are connecting with people, okay? And also check their fruit. The fruit. The Bible says you'll know my people by the fruit, right? Same thing in business. Do they have any fruit? Do you see any tangible things that they have really been able to accomplish that'll help you on your journey? But as a young entrepreneur, I didn't know that. But I had to learn that. And I learned that from experience, and allow my experience to help you guys on your journey, right? So this week, think about doing something different in order to get different results. Think about thinking outside the box, right? In order to get different results and experience some things a little different. Because you never know what God may do to show you that you're on the right path. Right? This was my sign this weekend that I'm on the right path in this season. All right. And so I did not do announcements when I first came in, only 2 announcements. The first announcement is our event. So Ladies of Faith Over Fear is hosting a healing, prayer, and deliverance event in Dallas, Texas area. It is a place where you can come if you really just need to get in the room of powerful women of God to just get the love. You may be at a breaking point where, God, I'm in my waiting season and I don't see no manifestation of what that thing is that I'm waiting on. That confirmation that that you told me that this is going to be this and it don't look like this, right? And you just need that encouragement. You need that push. You could be in a place where you're in a broken state of mind, right? And you need to release the trauma that you've experienced, right? You need that healing in a certain area. We're going to have some healing going on, right? I'm going to do a healing workshop within that workshop, right? We're going to have amazing speakers. We have 2 amazing speakers. One that's specifically on entrepreneurship. She's going to talk about her journey and how she had to script some things and how some things were stripped, right? That's that Louisiana accent trying to come out. Stripped. In order for her to be able to go to the next level, right? And so she's going to talk about that. And that's Coach City, our unapologetic transformational life coach, right? And then, of course, we have our amazing Apostle Janice Harris that's going to come and do deliverance, right? Because sometimes we need to be delivered from some stuff that we don't even know we need to be delivered from, okay? And so it's going to be an amazing, impactful event. So if you just need to, get in an environment, come outside of your normal environment and get into an environment of positivity, an environment of true women of God that's going to pray with you and not on you, then I invite you guys to come to that event. The link is connected in my bio, and it's also connected on this video. You can go to ladiesoffaithoverfear.com/events. And that event is going to be there. The tickets are only $50, y'all. Only $50. Grab you a ticket. If you like, I really would like to go to this event, but I don't have the time capacity, or I, can't afford to travel right now. Bless another queen with a ticket. Sometimes people want to come to events and they don't have the means and necessary to get here, right? Bless a queen that's in the Dallas, Texas area with the event. There's a sponsored ticket option where you can click on that sponsored ticket. If you purchase it, I will select a woman, right, to come to the event. It will be anonymous that you were a sponsored person that attend that event, but you'll be able to come to that event if somebody finds it on their heart to sponsor a queen to the event, okay? So that is the first announcement. And the second announcement is, if you are a woman and you are ready to grow in every area of your life and you want to make an extra stream of income, I would like to show you how you can join me in business, not really join me, but partner with me in business, right? Where I help you figure out what it is that you want to work on health and wellness wise, right? It could be lose weight. It could be to get more energy. It could be to help with the fatigue that you have going on. It could be if you have some more serious issues going on, right? Whether it's hypertension, whether it's joint issues, whatever the issue is, we look at the product line. We see what products that can help you with the issue that you have. You use those products, you share your journey with other people, you're able to get compensated, right? In this day and time, we need multiple streams of income. The government shutdown just showed us once again that you got to have more than one stream of income. It costs $30 to join me in business. I would like to show you how you can take $30 in 30 days and turn that investment into about $300 to $500 in the next 30 days. But you have to be willing, right, to get outside your comfort zone, to do some things a little different, to get some different results, right? So if you would like to partner with me in business, you can hit me up in the MDM and let's have a conversation to see how I can help you reach your goals, right? You can also click the link in my bio and hit the Partner with Cheryl Mazik tab, and that will give you the information as well of how you can partner with me, okay? So that's all I got because I'm 5 minutes over time. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. I love you guys. I'm looking forward to connecting with each and every person that I connect with. If this helped you in any shape, form, or fashion, put a 1 in the comments. If you are watching the replay, do pound replay. If you're watching the replay also, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as it moves it further up in the algorithm. But thank you guys so much. And also share this if you know somebody needs to hear this message on this week, right? So God gave us another opportunity today, right, to wake up to see another beautiful day. Let's not take it for granted. Let's do what he has called us to do. Let's operate in our greatness, operate in our purpose, and move because somebody is waiting on what we have, right? Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time.